Hello, it's Quebs, and today I've decided to do something a little different than my usual Let's Plays. I'm going to give you my personal review of Faxanadu for the NES. If you enjoy content like this, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. I appreciate the support. So, what is Faxanadu? Faxanadu is an action RPG platformer developed and published by Hudson Soft as a spin-off of the Xanadu series, which was itself a spin-off of the Dragon Slayer series, specifically Dragon Slayer 2 Xanadu. It was first released in Japan in 1987 for the Nintendo Famicom. 2 years later, in the Nintendo Power issue for May and June of 1989, Faxanadu received a 3-page spread which gave a preview of some of the characters you'll meet and the legendary items of great power you could acquire. Faxanadu would finally release in the US in August of 1989 for the Nintendo Entertainment System. In the November-December 1989 issue of Nintendo Power, Faxanadu was also listed in the top 30, coming in at number 6, and it was shown in the Counselor's Corner of the same issue. Now, Faxanadu was released at a time when there was a lot of competition in the Nintendo world. Other notable NES titles that were released in 1989 include Mega Man 2, Dragon Warrior, DuckTales, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Castlevania 3. 1989 also marked the release of the Nintendo Game Boy and Super Mario Land. Faxanadu found itself a bit overshadowed in an ocean of Nintendo releases, which contributed to its modern reputation of being a hidden gem. The Faxanadu manual tells us the unfortunate story of the elf town Aeolus and the neighboring World Tree. The World Tree has been bombarded with meteorites, and crazed monsters have seized upon the chaos to run amok. The game itself opens with our nameless hero approaching the gates of his hometown, Aeolus, as he laments the fact that it has seen better days. After conversing with the king, the hero is told that he is Aeolus's only hope, and he must save the World Tree. Upon leaving Aeolus, our brave hero must traverse the World Tree itself to find the evil one that lives in the evil place. Throughout your adventure, you'll encounter several types of evil creatures called dwarfs by the townsfolk. In Faxanadu, you'll do most of your fighting using your primary weapon, which you can generally buy with golds. Yes, golds. Your weapon also changes appearance based on which one you have equipped. I love little details like that in NES games. You can also purchase magical spells to complement your swordsmanship, which have different properties and uses. For example, the Deluge spell fires a Hadouken-like projectile straight ahead, allowing you to attack foes that are too short to hit with your weapon, while the Tilt spell fires projectiles on an upward trajectory, making it easier to take down flying enemies. You'll also have to do some light puzzle solving, which primarily consists of purchasing the correct key to open its corresponding door. The key system can lead to a small amount of frustration, as you may fight through hordes of enemies only to encounter a door you can't open because you didn't buy enough keys, but all is not lost. Slaying those hordes of enemies will boost your experience points. Yes, Faxanadu has a leveling system, but with its own unique spin. In some areas, you can speak to a guru, or guri, who may grant you a new rank based on how many experience points you've accumulated. In the event that our brave hero meets an untimely end, your experience and gold are reset to a level appropriate to your current rank. Faxanadu isn't what I would call an easy game necessarily, and thankfully it utilizes a password system so you don't have to beat the whole game in one go. You can receive a password by speaking to the aforementioned guri. The passwords themselves aren't the longest in NES history, but they still remind me of the sound a dot matrix printer makes. Faxanadu boasts some nice visuals despite being handled a bit unevenly. Some character sprites have a muted or pastel look, while others are presented with dark shadows and outlines. Both styles look good in their own right, but I prefer the darker, grittier looking sprites. I feel that dark and gritty look contributes to the overall feeling of foreboding that seems to permeate the world of Faxanadu, and some of the enemies you'll encounter look pretty intimidating for an NES game. However, a special mention goes out to these guys in particular because I think their walking animation is hilarious. The environments you'll travel through in Faxanadu do a good job conveying just how dire the situation within the World Tree has become, especially the area near Mescan. There aren't a lot of bright and cheery colors going on in Faxanadu, which in my opinion lends the game to a more grown-up or gritty medieval feeling when compared to most NES titles. So, how about the music? The short answer, I think it's great. Right off the bat, you're treated to the theme song, which evokes the promise of adventure and heroic deeds. Other musical highlights include the dreary dirge that accompanies you near Miskan, which adds to the sense of oppression and foreboding as you stumble blindly through the fog. And the melody you hear as you finally emerge from the fog to traverse the branches of the World Tree itself. Despite all my praise, Faxanadu is not a game without flaws. For instance, try equipping an item you just bought in a shop, I dare ya. Am I using it? Doesn't look like it. Guess what? It won't work. You have to go outside to equip it, dummy. Oh. Oh! Or how about the pendant, which is supposed to boost your attack power? Surprise! Due to a programming error, it actually decreases it. As someone I know once put it, welcome to hard mode. Here's something I wanted to mention. During my recent playthrough of Faxanadu, I noticed a subtle theme. It seems as if Faxanadu doesn't really want you to take this adventure too seriously. In the beginning of the game, the King of Aeolus hands you 1,500 golds, basically shrugs, and says he hopes to hear good news soon, almost as if he's already come to terms with certain doom. Some of the imperiled townsfolk themselves straight up tell you, don't try too hard. Finally, and most notably, when you die, a disembodied voice reminds you, don't have negative thoughts, remember your mantra. I interpret these subtle messages as the World Tree speaking directly to you, basically saying, yes, I'm in trouble, we're all in trouble, but please don't kill yourself for our sake. I realize this is my own interpretation, but it's one of the things that really stuck with me from my time in Faxanadu. And that's one of the things that makes this game so great. You're going to notice and interpret Faxanadu's messages in your own way, which gives the game a very personal feeling. So where does all this leave us? In my opinion, Faxanadu is an excellent game and well worthy of the hidden gem moniker, even if it's not as hidden as it once was. It's a fun, challenging, and at times a dark or even sorrowful adventure where the hero has a noble goal: to save the World Tree and its inhabitants from certain doom. Thanks for watching, this is Quwebs, and I hope you try Faxanadu for yourself.